Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today I want to be talking about the intros for Critical Role. The animated intro for Campaign 2 is technically what got me interested in Critical Role in the first place, so I'm paying it back now by talking about all of the intros they had, with the exception of like the character introductions from Campaign 1, because that's really long to talk about because it really just gives their backstory. So yeah, all of them excluding that one I'm talking about today. There will be an arbitrary ranking at the end from like my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, skip to the end if you want to see the rankings, but I want to talk about them all first before I rank them. So let's get into the discussion. I'll say discussion. So the first one that we're talking about is the first ever one. I'm going to do them in order. And it's just like them all in fantasy-esque attire, and their names pop up, and the first time we ever hear the Critical Role theme is played, and it's okay. It's not bad. I just listened to it, and honestly, the music's a little rough, like the way it sounds, but that's, again, it came out in episode 6. It was the first time we ever heard this. It was like, it's kind of rough because it's early Critical Role. Early Critical Role has a ton of issues, audio being one of them, so, and that's hilarious coming from me who has, I would say, pretty meh audio, if I'm being totally honest, but listening to it again, kind of rough, but visually I think it's really good, and I like that it gets the point across really easy. It's their names, who they are, Critical Role, the music, bam, it's right there, it's in your face, it's not offensive, it's not bad, it's just not the best. It's not the best one they've ever had. So yeah, moving on from that one, moving on to the next one, which is, in my opinion, infinitely better. So, the second one is obviously Vox Machina opening number 2, which has the exact same music, only mixed and sounds infinitely better, as it came out in episode 50, which I did not know. I thought it was way sooner than that, but this time they are dressed in character cosplay, instead of just random, fantasy attire. So much better. They're all in their costumes. They all have nice weapons. They all look super badass. We get to see cool Percy interactions with Pike. We get to see Scanlan and Pike, Vex and Vax interacting. Keyleth and Grog kind of didn't get any interactions with anybody, but they got to look really cool, as Marisha had some really cool magic swirling around her, and Grog had the blood axe covered in blood as he runs toward the camera, and it's really cool. It's really badass, and we get to have Matt Mercer in there as well, who looks really sick as he takes off the mask and deflects the arrow and reveals his face, which they've made a mini of that exact costume years later, which is really cool. So this intro, for many, was like the first really, really good one, because they had the other one for 50 episodes apparently, which I didn't know, but this one is like the start of really, really good intros to be expected from Critical Role, in my opinion. So yeah, I like this one. It's a huge step up from the last one. So moving on to the first Campaign 2 one. And now we move on to the retro theme, the first theme from Campaign 2, and watching it, I just felt so much nostalgia come back, and it's awesome. I really love it. It's got the same Critical Role theme playing over it again, but with a funky retro beat. That is the weirdest sentence I've ever heard. It is funky, though. It's got a nice little funk to it, but it's a lot of fun. The visuals are great. I love that they captured the casual play of the 80s. I think they're going for the 80s. I'm not too sure on that. They might be late 70s, but they capture what they were going for really well, and it's really casual looking, and someone arrives late. I think 2 people actually show up late, and it's just really fun. This intro is a lot of fun, and the music is fantastic. Taking the the same theme from before and adding a little twist to it, and obviously the audio is spectacular now, as they've gone through an entire campaign and now are starting Campaign 2 with this. That literally came out with the first episode of Campaign 2, so it was perfect. I really enjoy this one. I think it's a lot of fun, and we now move on to our first animated intro. It's your turn. And in my opinion, we have reached the pinnacle of animated or just intros in general with Your Turn to Roll. It's the first animated intro they've ever had, and it's amazing. It showcases the characters' backstories, or at least personalities, and some of them have their backstories within. Ford's, there's a bit for Bo, obviously Jester has hers, Caleb, and we don't get much for Mollymauk out of the way of honoring him. Caduceus is in there in the Blooming Grove, and Not is hiding, and eventually she does some really badass shit with an ogre. And Yasha has a bit of her backstory in there as well. It's perfect. It really kind of shows you what these characters are and who they're about, or what they're about. So it's a perfect showcase for the characters. Lyrically, it's amazing. I love Laura and Ashley singing on top of it, and Travis and Sam are also giving their voices to it as well. It's amazing. It's a ton of fun. I love the visuals, and it is apparently still the Critical Role theme, but they've tweaked it a bit, which I did not know that until I was reading about it just now. And this one came out on episode 44, so they're 44 episodes deep into campaign 2 before this one came out. So they had the retro one for that long, and then bam, this one came in, and it's amazing. This is the intro that got me into Critical Role, because I watched the D&D Beyond animated thing they did, and then they did this. So it's fantastic. It's amazing. And the updated version that came out for the Reunited is the same. I'm not going to review that one because it's exactly the same. Just it has Kingsley instead of Caduceus, which to me is a mild downgrade because I love my Caduceus. He's amazing. And Mollymauk, or Kingsley, is badass, but Caduceus to me will always reign supreme as Talzin's characters. So, yeah. Moving on to the next one. I believe campaign 3 now. So I am a huge liar. It is actually EXU, which includes EXU, the original, Kymel, and Calamity. Not campaign 3 yet. So this one is awesome. I really enjoy it. There's no lyrics. There is like a mild orchestra-esque singing on top of it, like very rarely throughout some of it. But visually, I think this is a fucking stunning intro. I love looking at the visuals. It doesn't really show too much about what the campaign's going to be about. Like individually, it doesn't show off too much for what it's going to be, but it gives like a nice little, I love that stained glass look, first of all, and it gives like a little bit of history within it, and I really enjoy it. I think it looks great. And musically, I fucking love the music to EXU. I love the music to EXU. I think it's insane. It gets me so hyped to watch the original 8 episodes. Kymel, not so much. And then Calamity, again. It is just amazing. I love listening to the EXU one. It's so good. It's not as good as Your Turn to Roll because it has lyrics on top of it that really amplify it. But I truly think like adding lyrics to this would make it worse because the music itself is just so hype. Like, bum, 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 bum. And it's like really fun, and I'm getting out of control here. But, like this one a lot. Visually, I think it is one of the most like stunning ones to look at. I really do. I really enjoy this one a lot visually. So yeah, points for that. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night. And for the first campaign 3 intro, we have the original It's Thursday Night. I friggin' love this one. It is got amazing visuals. I love everything. Like the opening, like you guys don't know, the opening to this is so sick to me when it zooms in on the minis and then gets to Matt and then he shifts over to something else. You guys don't know how much time I spent just going frame by frame through that initial mini portion, just looking at how like the minis were all set up, and you get to see like Ashton in there. There's some of the minis that are like the Wildmount enemy minis that came out in that series, and you get, I think FCG is there. There's just a bunch of really cool minis, and it zooms on to Matt, and then they move on to everyone else, and you've got, you know, all of them going through this, what seems to be some sort of jungle or some sort of jungle ruin, and I predicted perfectly where they were going to cut Robbie out of the intro and slot something else in. I was like, that was a cut that was there on purpose. And I really liked it. I thought this intro is amazing. I love how all of them get a chance to sing. Every single one of them get to sing in this, and as they kind of shift off screen, it changes to the person who shows up on screen, and it's awesome. There was a little bit of confusion apparently around if it was Liam singing over Travis's portion or if it was Travis. I'm pretty sure it was Travis who was singing. But yeah, you get to hear everyone sing, and I really love it when they cut to like them at the table having their big expressions and throwing the water and the popcorn in the air. It's really fun. This is another one visually that's amazing to look at, and the song is so good. It is so much fun. I just like this one a lot. Is it as good as Your Turn to Roll? No, it is just barely below it in my opinion. Jeez. In my opinion, it's just barely below Your Turn to Roll. So, moving on to the next one. And obviously, we're talking about the new It's Thursday Night, which is the rotoscoped one. I dislike this one. I dislike it because it changed and took away the exploration feel of the live action version of it, which to me is a damn shame. I understand there was a big issue for a lot of people with the original It's Thursday Night, as it's apparently those outfits that they were wearing are a sign of colonization in Southwest Asia. Fine. I get it. But I think it was better. I truly do. I think it was a better, more unique, more interesting thing, as they weren't cosplaying characters and it was live action again, so they were able to, have a lot of fun with it. It looked like it was a lot of fun, and it was showcasing the players, and it, to me, I miss the feel that the first It's Thursday Night gave off compared to this rotoscoped animated one. So yeah, obviously music wise this one's awesome, but visually it is a massive hit in my opinion, and I'm hoping they change it again on episode 50, because the first time they changed it was episode 25 where they changed it to the rotoscoped one. So episode 50, I hope every 25 episodes they change it. That would be really cool in my opinion, because this one feels like a placeholder. It really does to me. So kind of hoping they change it. If they don't, whatever, because the music is still fantastic, but I would like them to change it to something new, something a bit more different, maybe go back to live action. Who knows? Anyway, time to rank all of these. So in 7th place, we have the first ever intro for them, which is Vox Machina number 1, and honestly, it's just kind of poor. I don't think it's the best. It's honestly them in just a bunch of fantasy clothing with a rough version of the Critical Role theme that would eventually be way better. And yeah, it just shows their names. It is exciting as the first one, but it gets vastly improved upon as time moves on. So it is down here. And at 6th, we have It's Thursday Night Animation. The music's amazing, but honestly, the visuals for me really, really bum me out. So it's down here at number 6. Number 5, Vox Machina number 2. It is fun. It's awesome. The cosplays are great. The music is fantastic. I love it. It's overall great. Everything above it is just better in my opinion. And then at number 4, we have EXU. I love EXU. I think it's fantastic. It gets me super hyped to listen to to watch the episodes that come out after it. And yeah, it's just a really good intro. And at number 3, we have the retro opening. This one fills me with so much nostalgia. Like, I was watching it and I was like, damn, I'm super nostalgic for early Campaign 2. And yeah, it's really fun. It's the Critical Role theme yet again, and with like that funky beat over top of it. So lots of fun. Moving on to number 2 is It's Thursday Night Live Action. I fucking love this one. I can't get over how much I enjoy listening to this. First of all, the music is fantastic. Like I said before when I talked about number 6. But the live action stuff, I like combed through that for hours looking for references and, small little hints to things, like potential character stuff. I fucking love that one so much that it's making me swear. Second time I've sworn talking about this one alone. And yeah, and like the lamps they're holding during it is the same lamps from their set, which is really cool to me. God, I love that one. I miss it. I think it's the best one from Campaign 3. Maybe they'll change it up at episode 50, who knows? Anyway, number 1, I think y'all saw this coming. Your Turn to Roll from Campaign 2. It's perfect, god damn it. I love the animation style, love the music. I love that there's a bit of a story and the sense of a journey in the song. I think it's amazing. Visually, it's spectacular. I could gush about it all day, but I'm not going to because it'd get really boring for you after a while. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. This has been extremely fun for me to make. I don't know if I'm putting music in this video because it might get claimed if I did that. So, my recommendation, watch it with 2 tabs. Have this one open, and then when I move on to the next one, there you go, bam. But if I do have snippets, it'll only be like 7 seconds long, so I don't get screwed, which is probably what I'll do. You guys are literally listening to the process of me discover what I'm going to do. So anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been amazing. Moving on. Can't wait for the next intro to ever come out, whatever it is. See ya.